Dun, 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 dun. Hello, I'm back with some more mid uh, NFL Week 4 power rankings. Up first, Buffalo Bills, S tier. Also, I'm not even going to edit this out. I got to fix this up a bit. We're good. Buffalo Bills beat the Jaguars. It was an electric game, just a fun team to watch. Um, a lot of people were doubting Buffalo from losing big players like Stephon Diggs on offense, but Josh Allen is making it work. He's spreading the load, spreading the love, and dominating. Next is the Dolphins. Drop them down C tier. Disappointing. After that Tua injury, they just can't get it together. Um, yeah, I mean, not much more to say. They just look like a really weak team right now. They can't get anything done. Patriots. Probably an F tier because look, I still think the Dolphins are in better shape than they are. Um, they're not looking too good. They won their first game against the Bengals, big upset, but now the Bengals are 0-3, so I guess not really that big of an upset. Um, Once again, just a team not looking great. Jets, probably, honestly between B and A. Um, but I'm inclined to give them an A tier. They were shaky in their first game against the 49ers, but they've been looking good. Aaron Rodgers has seemed more mobile, and their offense are sort of piecing it together. Their defense is not as good as last year, but it's still pretty good. Give an A tier. Bit of a hot take here. This is a 1-2 team. I'm going to say the Ravens. Um, the Ravens have the best rushing defense in the league. And the league is very running down your throat and or short passes. It's all about defense and running mostly. So I'm gonna give them an A tier just because their defense is so good against the run game. And I'll take it a step further. I think the Ravens are gonna have a Week 4 win in a big comeback game um, against the Bills. Even though the Bills are S tier, I think the Ravens have it in them. I think they're going to have a big win. The Bengals. The Bengals are 0-3. They're not good. Are they F tier worthy though? That is, that's hard. That's really hard. They always have a slow start, but it's rough. I mean, they lost against the Commanders, who were shaping up to look pretty good, and they're against the Panthers next week. They're probably gonna come away with a dub in that game, and then they're 1-4. But that's just such a rough start. Um, I'll throw them in the F tier. I'll throw them in the C tier. Actually, I think these two teams are about on the same level. Um, but yeah, that being said, the Browns, another team I know shockingly little about. Um, they lost the Giants, automatic F tier. There we go. That's all I needed to know. Steelers, I'm going to put in the S tier. They're 3-0. They're the best defense in the league. Justin Fields, is he an electric quarterback that looks like a superstar? No. But he's proven that he could manage a game, okay? He could draw out long drives, get the job done, tire out the defense. He's looking pretty good. The Steelers are looking pretty good. Houston, going to throw him in the A tier. I don't really know what else to say. I haven't said anything. They got smacked by Minnesota, but that being said, they're 2-1. Minnesota's electric. Still an A tier team. They're still looking good. I mean, you get smacked by a team that's looking dominant right now. It's not going to really drop you too far. Colts. They beat my Bears. They're still trash. Probably in C tier. Anthony Richardson's not looking good, which is concerning for the Colts. So yeah, they're gonna be in this, and their defense. I don't even think their defense is that good. They had a couple interceptions in the game. It was like watching two people without arms try to wrestle each other. Like the Colts Bears game, neither team looked like they had any semblance of what was going on. So they're in the C tier. Jags gonna throw in the F tier. They got dominated by the Bills. It's looking rough if you're a Jags fan. Not that it's ever looked good, but yeah, it's simply not looking good. Their O-line isn't giving Trevor enough time. The only person who looks good on the Bills is the Bryant Thomas, their new rookie wide receiver. Other than that, it's looking like a sorry story. Their defense just got ran over by the Bills. Another F-tier team, the Titans. They really can't get anything done. Their defense isn't terrible, but their offense is hitting like a pool noodle. Yeah, it's and it must suck. They got run over by Green Bay, and Malik Willis. They traded him away a month ago, and he came back and just steamrolled them. And I know it's just not the QB position. They have problems everywhere in almost every position on offense, but it's just a tough look. Broncos had a big win. I forget who it was against. They did have a big win this week. Was it against Dallas? No, it was against the Bucks. Against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That's a decent. I think that gets you in a B tier. They beat a good team. I mean, they have a rookie quarterback. So they're gonna have a rough start to the year. But hey, they beat a good team. Not much else you can say. Not much else is there to say. Like, are they a great team? No, not exactly. But they beat a good team, and that gets you out of F tier. Chiefs, top of S tier. They've had narrow wins. I think they're going to lose this week. I really do. I think it's going to be a big upset. I think they're playing the Chargers, and even though the Chargers have some injuries, I think Taylor Heineke is the backup, and I could just see one. I could just see Heineke popping off, or at least managing a good game. I don't know. I think they're gonna lose this week, but they're S tier for now. The Raiders, another not so good team. I'll put them in C tier. They had a big win against the Ravens, but they haven't had too much else going on. They were on the receiving end of the Panthers' comeback first. And it wasn't a comeback win, but it was their first win of the season behind the Red Rocket, Andy Dalton. So yeah, moving on. Chargers, I'm going to put in A tier. I did think they have a couple injuries. I didn't see their game, but I think they're just going to pull off a wild card seed. Like, I think they have a team that can make the playoffs. They lost to Pittsburgh, who has been proven to just be dominant on defense. TJ Watt, God bless. Yeah, I think they're going to win against the Chiefs, and they're going to be 3-4, and they're going to be looking really good this week. Cowboys, C tier team. I think they're going to win this week, Thursday Night Football against the Giants, but they haven't been looking good. Their defense was really good week one, and then has not been able to stop anything since then. So yeah, putting them down to the C tier. Giants are also in the C tier only because Malik Neighbors looks like the next big wide receiver coming out of these first 3 weeks. And hey, they won a game. You won a game. We all thought that you were going to be garbage, but I think you're about as good as the Cowboys right now. I mean, if I'm looking at it, Cowboys are not looking too swift. They didn't make any changes in the offseason. Giants at least tried to make some changes. They tried to get a little bit of help on defense, a little bit of help on the O-line. Daniel Dimes-Jones is still a nitwit, but hey, they're not. I mean, they got to win. And they could win this game on Thursday night. I don't think they will, but they could win it. The Eagles, they're an A-tier team. Their coach made some bad calls. I'm not a Sirianni fan, but Their defense looked better in the past. Their offense, they couldn't really get much done, but they got a win out of it. They're 2-1 going into next week. And they beat a really promising team. Like, they beat the Saints. It wasn't convincing, and both teams didn't look good, but the Saints were looking good through the first weeks, and they got a win against them. Yeah. Now, here is the Commanders, who I'm going to put in the B tier. I think they're going to get second in the division. Their young QB looks really good. Jaden Daniels, he's looking like a great talent. I saw a crazy stat that was something like, in 3 games, he hasn't not scored on a drive. And like Tom Brady, Drew Brees, Patrick Mahomes, and Aaron Rodgers combined 1,000 games, 1,000 games plus, and in only 2 games they haven't not scored on a drive. So yeah, I think they have good odds of making it to the playoffs. The Bears are F tier. Can't get anything done on offense. They built a wide receiver core, but didn't put any effort in the offseason on building their O-line. The running game is weaker than last year. They have Herbert and Swift has not been producing at all. Kind of got fleeced by Philadelphia there. Thanks, Birds fans. So yeah, not looking great. Lions. I think they're top of B. I think they took a 4-point loss this week. I forget against who. And I know their first week they won in overtime. I think they have a decent run plan figured out. I'm just not confident in the rest of their team. I'm not confident that Jared Goff is him. I don't think he is. I don't think he has that intangible that helps you win games, where you figure out your win condition and you execute. I don't think he has that. I don't think he could lead the offense. But they're still a very good team. Green Bay. Green Bay's looking really good. I'll put them in the A tier. They did lose against the Eagles in week 1, with Jordan Love getting injured. But LaFleur is doing wonders there. Malik Willis looks good. Probably going to get traded and start somewhere for a really bad team and not look as good. It pains me to say it because I'm a Bears fan, but it's a good-looking team. It really is. And I think they're going to beat the next team this week, which is the Vikings, who are in S tier. Vikings do look unstoppable. I do think they're going to get stopped this week. I think the Bills are going to get stopped. I think the Chiefs are going to get stopped. I think the Vikings are also going to get stopped. Because Green Bay has been looking very good recently, but the Vikings have just a solid team. Sam Darnold is showing up. He's playing very efficient football, and the defense is looking really good. Next is the Falcons. Falcons are B tier. They've been losing in some close games. They don't have that intangible, just like the Lions, that can just figure out how they're winning and execute, but they're still a solid team. Hopefully they have more success later this year. Panthers, can I put them in F tier? They had a win last week and it looked very convincing. I'm going to put them in C tier. No, I'm going to put them in C tier because the Red Rocket is just looking good. He's looking good. It looks like now that they have a competent quarterback, they can get some wins and they're not going to be bottom of the barrel. Are they still going to be bottom 10? Probably. But they're not going to be the first round draft pick that they gave away to Chicago. They'll figure something out. They'll pick up a couple games. Saints took a loss this week. They went from S tier to B tier. They looked really sloppy. Made a lot of mistakes out there. Still have some good players, but I think they're just going to beat up on bad teams. Now that we're 3 weeks in, it looks like they're going to beat up on bad teams, run up the score. They're going to look really good, be good in fantasy, but a little inconsistent. Yeah. The Bucks lost the Broncos, man. They lost the Broncos. They're still an A tier. You know what? I love the Bucks. Baker Mayfield's a god. He's God's son. He hath risen again. The second era in his career. He's going to be unstoppable. They're making the playoffs. They're going to go to the championship. I don't know. Cardinals, B tier. Looking good. Kyler Murray's fun to watch. It's a team. The Cardinals as a whole, you kind of want to root for them. They're a fun team to watch. And I hope they get more wins later down the road. The Rams aren't looking too good. They're in C tier. They're just really beat up. They would be in B tier if they had Puka, if they weren't so injured with some of their other players that I don't know enough about football to know. So yeah, hopefully they get healthy, pick up enough wins towards the end of the season, but it's going to be hard. 49ers, oh, how they have fallen from the first week when they were S tier. Same thing, they're beat up, they're not looking great. Brandon Ayuk threw a hissy fit right before the season, and they paid him, but he hasn't given anything in return. If he can get his shit together, then maybe, this team starts looking good. But right now, it just doesn't look good. And finally, the Seahawks. Hot take, B tier team. They're 3-0. I think they'll be 4-0. I think they're going to win this week. That being said, nothing stands out to me. And maybe that's a good thing, but nothing stands out. They're not a fun team to watch. They get wins when they can. I think they'll be 4-0 next week, but they're still B tier. I don't think they're going to find this much success later in the season. They can run into some injuries. I think this is a team that can fall apart very quickly. So this is the week 4 power rankings and tier lists and whatever. Bad takes by someone who really doesn't know football that well. Yeah.